Hi, I'm C.C. Péan, and this is Reclaiming Your Health.
Hello, everyone. I'm hearing a little bit of an echo. Fix that. Okay, I hope that's better. That was very undignified. Okay. I hope that you all, okay, here we go. Let's straighten this up a little bit. Welcome to Reclaiming Your Health. I am your host, C.C. Péan. I'm so happy to be here with you this week. This is an episode where we are focusing on brain health. If you recall, last week we had a short little kind of lecture on brain health, and we were armed with the information that we actually have the ability to, at the very least, retard the effects of dementia that can lead to Alzheimer's and things like that. When we talk about brain health, it is so important for us to recognize that there's so many factors that play into your brain health. So some people may not be able to connect the dots between, for example, high blood pressure and dementia, or any kind of vascular issue, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes. All of these things directly affect your vascular system, and your vascular system can then in turn affect your brain health. So the beautiful thing, though, is that food can be our medicine. And once we are armed with the tools and the information, we can easily incorporate these things into our daily diet, and we can do our best at keeping those types of diseases at bay. Now, of course, some people are predisposed genetically. There are all kinds of reasons, but I come from the understanding that you should do everything you can, send a prayer up, and leave it to God. But what you don't want to do is eat and drink as though with reckless abandon, with no concern whatsoever. And then you end up with these diseases and you figure, oh, this is just my luck. It is what it is. It is not what it is. We should be doing everything we can to fight it. So what I told you all I was going to do is I was going to feature recipes that include ingredients that are great for your brain health. And tonight we are going to make a Middle Eastern dip that I absolutely love. The first time I had it, I was living in Los Angeles, California, and there was a restaurant called Moshe's in the Grove. And they had the most delicious, like authentic Israeli food. They had a hummus that was like whipped cream. It was so delicious. And then they had all these stuffed grape leaves and these beautiful freshly baked flatbreads, pita. But my favorite thing out of everything was a spread called Mouhmara. Mouhmara is made with toasted walnuts. It's made with charred bell peppers. It's made with molasses, pomegranate molasses, a couple cloves of garlic, a squeeze of lime, and a little bit of breadcrumbs. Now, if you have issues with gluten, you can either use gluten-free breadcrumbs or just forego it altogether. Don't even worry about it because you'll have quite a bit of texture from these walnuts, okay? The walnuts need to be raw, unsalted. We want them as basic as possible. And if you remember what I say, what we're trying to do is eat food as close to its natural state as possible. Why do I say that? I say that because your body takes what it needs from the food, the nutrition, and what it doesn't need, it gets rid of. When we have all these processed things, doesn't bode too well in our body. Now, some of you may be wondering, where in the world will I get pomegranate molasses? Well, if you live in a big city, you can probably find an international or Mediterranean market. If not, you can always go to Amazon. And if you don't want to do that, you can simply substitute 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, 2 extra teaspoons of lemon juice, in addition to what's already in this recipe, and that will give you somewhat of a pomegranate flavor. Something else that makes this very unique is Aleppo pepper, but we're not going to use that today. You can order that online if you'd like to. What we're actually going to use, I forgot to grab it, are red pepper flakes, okay? So let's get into it. So what I did prior to coming on tonight is I took 3 bell peppers and I held them over the fire. I have a gas flame, so if you have a gas flame, you can do it like this. Otherwise, you could put it in the oven and char it. But I charred these. You see these? This was a beautiful red bell pepper. You can also buy bell peppers that are already in the can, like the pimento peppers. You could always do that too. But this is much more, this is much more authentic because you get some of that charred flavor. When you buy it in the bottle, not so much. This is kind of like, you know, like with baba ganoush, how it has that kind of charred flavor. That's what you're going to get from this. So I charred my 3 bell peppers, and then I put them in a bowl and I covered it in plastic. Why do I do that? Because that allows it to steam, and then the skin is going to come off just like this. Look at that. The skin comes right off when you do that. You can also do this underwater. It'll make it come off a lot faster. I will probably just rinse it at the end, but you might even want to leave just a few of those little charred pieces on there just to give a little bit more of that smokiness. Okay, so that's 1. And this Mouhmara, even though it's a spread, this is delicious. Like if I make a really great kale salad, I'll put a nice big dollop of this on it. This would be a great spread on bread. You know, if you're like making a vegetable, like a roasted vegetable sandwich with like bell peppers and zucchini and things like that. This is great for that. Here's 2. We have 1 more to go. And it's so important to char this really well because that's why this is coming off the way that it is coming off. You will know if you did not char it long enough or it did not steam long enough because you will have a problem with this. So I'm just going to step over here and rinse these off just a little bit. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the stem and the seeds. Let's move this out the way. So we're just going to simply cut the top like so. It's really juicy. And once we do that, the seeds and the membrane will all come out. Okay, so that's 1. And what we're going to do now, as I take the tops off, I'm just going to drop this in my food processor. This is such a simple recipe and it's so yummy. I'm sure you all are going to be making it. Unfortunately, if you have a nut allergy, this isn't the dish for you. But I'll be sure to share other dishes that are nut allergy friendly. Okay, so we're going to cut this. That's 2. And then this is the 3rd one. Furaha, are you there this week? You specifically asked me if we were going to be doing any recipes. So I hope you're on. Made a little bit of a mess there, but that's okay. Okay, so we've got our bell peppers in there. I'm going to use my garlic press because one of the worst things is to have, hi Phyllis, one of the worst things is to have chunks of garlic. Pomegranate molasses. Okay, so you can go on Amazon and find it, simply pomegranate molasses. If you live in a big city, you can go to an international market or Mediterranean market in particular. If not, you can substitute 2 teaspoons of maple syrup and 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. That'll kind of give you the flavor. It won't be authentic, so I really would hope you go to a store or on Amazon. But if not, in a pinch, 2 teaspoons of maple syrup and 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. So we've got our clove of garlic that I'm going to press and put directly in there. And actually, I'm going to do another one because that garlic cube seemed like that clove was kind of dry. There we go. That's a good one. So we've got that in there, 1 to 2. And if, like I tell you all, there's no perfect recipe. So you might want a little bit more garlicky flavor. You might want a little less. So just adapt it that way. Okay, we're going to do 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. I'm going to guesstimate that. I would say that's about a teaspoon there. Okay, we are going to do this is a 1/2 cup of toasted walnuts. Go right in there. And this has to be done in a food processor. You do not want to do this in a blender. This is the kind of dip that's really good chunky. All right, and we are going to do our 3 tablespoons of breadcrumbs. Remember, if you're gluten-free, you can either use gluten-free breadcrumbs or you can just forego them all together. Just going to sprinkle this in there. A 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. If red pepper is not your thing, you can forego that as well. Excuse me, you all. There we go. A little zip to that. And traditionally, you would use Aleppo pepper, but we're not using that today because we don't have it. All right, and the last thing that we're going to add is 1.5 teaspoons of pomegranate molasses. 1.5 tablespoons, I'm sorry, of pomegranate molasses. So there's 1. And then we're going to do another 1/2. And we're going to hold off on the salt until we blended it pretty well. And then we're going to come back and check how much we need. So folks, it is just that simple. So now we're just going to put the top on. A little garlic on the edge there. And we're going to pulse it. Don't want to do it on high. We want to pulse it because depending on how chunky or how smooth you want it, you're able to control it better if you pulse it. So we're going to pulse this. Oops, you guys, I forgot one thing, cumin. I told you this today was rough. A 1/2 teaspoon of cumin has to go in here. So I do a few shakes of the cumin. There we go. And let's pulse. Oh my goodness. What's going on here? Okay, we're going to add a little bit of olive oil to this. to get it to emulsify. About 2 tablespoons. Pour it right to the top as we do this. That's 1. That's 2. Let's check this. See how it's coming along. Looking nice and chunky. Just gonna scrape it down from the sides so it can be evenly blended. Okay. Taste it. That's good. A little bit of salt. I'm gonna do about 3 turns of salt in here. Remember, we just finished with salt. Salt is not gonna be a main ingredient. Pulse this a couple more times. Something's going on with my food processor, people. I think it may have, let's see. Yeah. Isn't that something? Tonight of all nights, my food processor has stopped. Oh well. One monkey don't stop, no show. So let's keep going. We will continue mixing by hand. Okay, I'm gonna take out the blade. And what I'm doing now, you all won't have to do this because hopefully your food processor won't break down in the middle of you making it. But I'm simply just mixing it up to make sure the salt is evenly distributed. Let's taste it. That's really good. Now, I do believe the Aleppo pepper would take it up to the next level, but we don't have that. So now our Mouhmara is finished. Putting it in here. And one of the best things to eat Mouhmara with is fresh, hot pita. That's one of the best things. And if you've got a local Mediterranean market, they probably have fresh pita being delivered every single day. I know that at my market they do. So, what do you serve this with if you don't have pita? And we're trying to be heart healthy. Well, there's a couple of things that I like to eat with. I love these almond flour crackers by Simple Mills. These are great. They're really, really good. If you have, again, a gluten issue, these are great to have. I buy mine at Sprouts, but let me give you a tip. If you go to Costco, you can buy a box of probably about 3 times this size for about $10, which is unheard of because this box right here is about $7. So you can use almond flour crackers. You can use celery sticks. Okay. Use celery sticks. You can use carrot sticks. Something else that you can use, it really would be, it's great if you're somebody who wants to get fiber into your diet. I love to eat this. And these are like Wassa crackers. I love to eat Wassa crackers with this type of thing. Let's taste it. They're high in fiber, low in calorie, and they're a great vehicle for dips. This is delicious. So, folks, here we have Mouhmara, which is a Mediterranean dip, and we've got heart healthy and brain healthy walnuts, which provide us with selenium, which is very, very good for brain health. We've got some charred bell peppers, which are very, very good for you. We've got some celery here. We have got, what else do we have? We have extra virgin olive oil, which is very good. We have a little bit of cumin, a little lemon juice, red pepper, garlic cloves. All that good stuff goes into this. You can add a little more. If I made this for myself, actually, I probably would use more pomegranate molasses. Well, it's really good. It's a great addition. You make this, I would say it would be good for about 4 or 5 days in a sealed container. But yeah, great on bread, great by itself, great in salad. You could make a wrap, put this in there, some avocado, a handful of like spring mix, some carrots. It would be so good in a wrap. Easy, breezy, great for your brain health, Mouhmara Middle Eastern dip. So let me know if you all try this and let me know what you think. And we will be back next week with another brain healthy recipe. Thank you for joining me on Reclaiming Your Health. See you next week. Bye-bye.